I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But according to this article, it says a friend of the 22-year-old American man killed last week in Greece is providing new details about the violent attack at a bar. Bakari Henderson was killed after a fight broke out early Friday on the Greek island of Zakynthos. According to a friend who was with Henderson at the time, it started after Henderson and some friends sat down their drinks at the other end of a table where two men were sitting. He said the two men grabbed the beers and smashed them on the table and brandished the shattered bottles as weapons. Damn, this is like something out of a movie. The friend says local media reports that the attack was sparked by an attempt to take a photo with a waitress are untrue. Police say at least 10 people followed Henderson out of the bar, including the bouncer and another employee. They are accused of beating Henderson and leaving him unconscious in the street. 8 people have been arrested and are now facing voluntary manslaughter charges. The suspects, including the bouncer and bar employee, covered their heads as they made their way into court. One of their attorneys argued that there was no intent to kill Henderson, who Greek police say died from severe head injuries after the beating. Of course it isn't. When you are drunk or even if you're sober and you're so upset for hardly probably anything and you beat on somebody like cowards, you're going to kill them. Especially when you're beating them in their head like a bunch of cowards. Because it took 10 of you or 8 to beat on one guy. I couldn't believe it, said Astrid von Aaron McCrae, a family friend, and I'm trying to compose myself, but I couldn't believe it. The news is still sinking in at the McCrae household in Austin, Texas. Family friends say Henderson spent a lot of time there growing up. I think everybody feels the same way, Blake McCrae said, that everybody just misses Bakari. He was the life of the party. Henderson graduated last month from the University of Arizona with a degree in business, finance, and entrepreneurship. In a statement, relatives say, "Our family is devastated." They said Henderson was a big thinker and enjoyed coming up with new business ventures. His latest, a photo shoot for a new clothing line, brought him to the Greek island of Zakynthos. The nightlife in an area of the island known as L0SES attracts a rowdier crowd, according to author and travel writer Eleni Gage. They get a lot of charter flights from England and other parts of Europe that can make for a very cheap vacation for primarily young people looking to party, Gage said. There's been reports of trouble there before. In 2011, an argument with taxi drivers led to the stabbing death of a British teen. And last year, a young woman from Britain had a spiked vodka drink left her blind. Well, young woman said a spiked vodka drink left her blind. Okay. Yet this latest case makes no sense to those who knew Bakari Henderson, like neighbor Bill Norton. He didn't have any of those characteristics that you would think about in terms of bar room brawls, Norton said. It just didn't fit Bakari's nature. I'm just puzzled. The Henderson family says their main focus now is getting Bakari's body back home. The U.S. State Department says it's helping the family and is in touch with Greek authorities. Meanwhile, their GoFundMe page has raised more than $30,000 to cover transportation and funeral costs. That's good for whoever started that page. A previous version of this article said witnesses reportedly told the police that Henderson and friends wanted to take a photo with a waitress, which angered the bouncer. A friend of Henderson says local media reports that the attack was sparked by an attempt to take a photo with a waitress are untrue. This is some sad shit. I don't care how you um I don't care how you may feel about black men in society. This is some sad shit. This is some cowardly shit. Now, this island is known to have traffic. So there's people from all over who are coming there. But we can't say that these are other travelers. This seemed to me like people who are actually from the island. The bouncer, the employee, they probably saw this black guy who was getting attention from white women who were there, and it pissed them off, you know? And it's unfortunate that you have to beat on one guy and you think that that makes any sense. You don't think that people are going to bring race into it. You don't think people are going to think that you don't want other minorities coming to your country, speaking to your women, or partying on your island. Okay, this is another article here from CBS as well, that there is a video of this incident. Okay, now let me read what this says. This video sheds light on what led to beating death of American in Greece. Security footage reveals more about what led to the brutal attack on Bakari Henderson, an American killed in the Greek island of Zakynthos. The video shows a man and a woman taking a selfie next to a person. Greek media says is Henderson, reports CBS News correspondent Tony Dokupil. Moments later, a man next to Henderson grabs a bottle of beer and makes a smashing motion, setting off a confrontation, which escalates when the man hits Henderson on the head. A few seconds later, Henderson hits back before the men run out of view. The surveillance video from the nearby bar shows Henderson trying to run away before someone throws him against a car, and several others begin to kick and punch him as he collapses in the street. Bystanders try to break up the attack, and someone appears to give Henderson CPR. The video is now court evidence, and police confirm it's genuine. It shows fewer than 20 seconds passed between the time the group began pummeling Henderson and the time they stepped away from his lifeless body. Greek authorities say the 22-year-old died from severe head injuries. 9 men faced voluntary manslaughter charges, including 7 Serbians and 2 workers from the bar. So it was a bunch of Serbians who did this, who got triggered. But I know this is going to sound really bad. But why don't those Serbians go run up on those Arabs that are flooding Europe, that are doing damage? Why don't y'all go run up on them Arabs? That's all I'm saying. One of those workers, a bouncer, told a local paper he tried to break up the fight, but that Henderson took an ashtray and threw it at me. He admits he responded by punching him in the face and 2 or 3 times in the body. Do y'all really believe this shit? He took an ashtray and threw it at you? Maybe because you were the one punching him, asshole. Henderson's friend Daniel Brown spoke with CBS News in Greece this week. He was with Henderson on the island of Zakynthos. I've never seen him rattled a day in my life, Brown said of Henderson, but he says he wasn't at the bar in the party district of Laganos when the fight broke out. He told us Henderson, a recent college graduate who was working to start his own clothing line, was a selfless person who always kept his cool. He was never really worried about material objects or social status or anything like that, and he was non-judging of everyone he met. And because of that, he easily had the most diverse and large group of friends anyone could ask for, Brown said. 4 suspects appeared in court Thursday for initial testimony back in Austin, Texas. A spokeswoman for Henderson's family tells us they're planning a memorial service for Friday night and Saturday morning. She says they're hoping to have his body back by then. This is a situation where they probably already didn't like him when they saw him, because you don't just see somebody take a selfie, you just get up and want to fight. This seemed like a situation that had been brewing. And because these cowardly Serbians decided that this black guy is here enjoying himself, we don't like it, so we gonna run up on him. You're not running up on them Arabs, but you want to run up on him and jump him and fight, including the bouncer and the other employee guy. You see, this is why people have the stigma of racism in these countries. Because when you do things like this, it makes the whole look bad. And in this PC society, you can't be going around fighting and beating up on people just because. Just because. And that's what it looks like to me. You're beating up on this guy just because you don't like that he's there. And I don't even believe he was the one in the photo taking the selfie. He was next to people who were taking the selfie. Y'all go and check the articles out. I'll put both links in the description box. You can go and check them out. I hope they're prosecuted, man. They need to be prosecuted by U.S. courts, but we all know. Hopefully, his body can get back to his family. He did not deserve to have this happen to him, because you got cowards who are upset because he's enjoying himself on this Greek island. And they felt like the necessary thing to do was to beat on him and leave him laying in the street. Unfucking believable. And you people wonder why there's a stigma of racism in some of these European countries. I'm not talking about the whole, but I'm just saying stories like this makes you think twice about coming to these countries because of shit like this. Because you got cowards who want to jump on somebody just because they may have been taking a selfie. And I'm not going to blame alcohol on this at all. This is totally them doing this because they wanted to. Because they were upset that this brother may be smashing the white women on that island. Hopefully there's some justice. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And let me know your thoughts.